Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from the Francophile. It's Jalen and Maria and we hope you all are doing well. In today's video, we are going to be revealing the 7 worst parts of doing a master's degree at a French public university.
This video is pre-recorded as we'll be traveling when it goes live, and in our last video we talked about the best parts of studying as Americans in a French public university, so make sure to go check that out if you haven't seen it already.
We are Americans in France who are just about finished with our 2-year master's degrees in public law and logistics at the Université de Reims-Champagne-Ardenne, and today you're going to hear about the things we did not love about our personal experiences. So before we get started with the video, don't forget to check us out on all of our social media. We do have Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and our blog, and let's get started with the video.
Number 1 is the sheer amount of time that we spent in the classroom. As master's degree students in France, we were spending an average of 30 hours per week in class, with classes that lasted from 3 to 4 hours each. This was a far cry from our undergraduate experience in the United States, where we spent about 13 hours per week in class, and the classes lasted about an hour each. Spending so much time in the classroom while also needing to complete long-term assignments and study to retain the information that we learned was honestly a bigger time commitment than we had imagined. Oftentimes, our schooling experience felt unnecessarily time-consuming.
Number 2 is the lack of community and atmosphere. At French public universities, spending time on campus for anything other than classes or exams really isn't that common, which means that you won't see students doing things like camping out in the university library to study together or discussing course materials in a curated recreational space. In comparison to our experience in the United States, both students and professors seem to be less invested in creating an atmosphere of scholarly exchange. Instead, the atmosphere was not motivational and made class days feel more like a chore to get done as quickly as possible than an academic opportunity to appreciate.
Number 3 is the fact that our schedules were either unfixed completely or constantly subject to change. During the first year of my degree, my schedule was fixed, but professors moved and canceled classes with no notice all the time. In my second year, my schedule was unfixed and it changed all the time, sometimes even multiple times per week.
And for me, my schedule was never regular, meaning that my classes were rarely held at the same time every week. And even though it was fixed in advance, the schedule was constantly changing.
This lack of organization was maddening and inhibiting. It was extremely difficult for us to make any plans ahead of time and impossible to work a part-time job on the side even if we could find the time.
Number 4 is the lack of syllabi. A syllabus is basically a summary of what to expect in a given course. It will often outline expectations, policies, deadlines, and exam dates so that students can know exactly what to expect over the course of the semester. As Americans, we expected that giving students at least a rough outline of the semester to come would be the norm. However, in both of our programs at a French public university, this concept did not exist at all. Professors would often decide deadlines, oral presentations, and exam dates on the fly. They gave half-baked verbal instructions at the end of a class, leaving students with no way to plan out their personal schoolwork or study schedule in advance. It was really difficult for us to never know what work we might be expected to turn in at any given time.
In the same vein, number 5 is the lack of rubrics. Rubrics are typically used to indicate to the student the criteria of an assignment and how they will be graded. We were never given any rubric for any assignment, no matter how important. And oftentimes the instructions stopped at write a paper, or prepare a presentation, or do an oral exam. Professors would often nonchalantly tell the class that an assignment was due soon, rattle off 1 or 2 guidelines, and the students would have to take it from there and try to put something together that they thought the professor would like. It was frustrating to never know how we would be graded, and even more irritating to not know why you lost points on certain assignments.
Number 6 has to do with the length of our university years. Take for example the second year of our master's degrees or our master 2 years, which lasted for over an entire calendar year from the beginning of September 2021 to the end of September 2022. Not only is this a very long academic year, but we didn't have any idea of the school year's dates beforehand. Neither the university at large nor our programs had information on the start and end dates of the year in advance.
For example, I didn't know until September 1st that the second year of my master's degree was supposed to start on September 6th, and I didn't know until 9 months into my second year that my school year would go all the way until September.
This was hard to deal with as Americans, especially if you compare it to our undergraduate institution in the US that has all the important dates you can think of published years in advance.
The last item on the list has to do with grading norms in French public university. For the vast majority of our classes, we were completely in the dark as to how we were doing grade-wise until after the semester was completely over and our final grades were published. There can be no, I'm gonna go chat with the professor to see how I can improve if you don't know how you're doing at all. On top of not knowing your grades throughout the entire semester, they often weren't published immediately upon completion of the semester either. We sometimes had to wait weeks or months until our final grades were published. This was really stressful to us personally, and it can also complicate immigration obligations like residence permit renewal. This list brings up just some of our least favorite parts of studying in France as Americans. Despite these difficulties, we are so grateful for our experience, and we hope that sharing them sheds some light onto what studying in France is really like.
If you have any questions or want to know more about our experience as American master's degree students in France, leave us a comment and we will get back to you. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out on all of our social media. We do have Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and our blog, and we will see you all in 2 weeks.
Bye.